John plans to cab to the city library. Heavy rain clogs the streets. With his last gold coin, he entrusts his dog to a driver for Karen's care. He runs to the library, demanding a 1864 Russian folktales book by Alexander Afanasyev. It's a hidden stash with 4 gold coins, a blood oath, a Ruska Roma cross necklace, and a photo of him and Helen. Grabbing them, he's ambushed by Ernest, a towering 86.6-inch assassin out for John's life. Ernest tosses him like a toy, stabbing his shoulder. John fights back, smashing Ernest's jaw with the book and snapping his neck. The wound is worse than he thought. John staggers to Chinatown. An old doctor reluctantly helps after seeing gold coins. He hears John has 5 minutes left. Mid-stitch, a bell signals his hour is up. The doctor stops. John shoots him non-lethally for painkillers. The hunt for John Wick officially begins. A Chinese mob chases him into an antique weapon shop. A Colt 1873 revolver won't load. John crafts a makeshift gun just in time to shoot an attacker. His judo skills send foes crashing. Surrounded by knives and short swords, John wields melee weapons. He hurls blades with brutal precision in a thrilling, gruesome display. More assassins corner him in a stable. He uses horses as shields and weapons. Their hooves crush enemies. 2 motorcyclists pursue, but John dispatches them instantly. The high table's adjudicator ups the bounty to $15 million. John reaches the Ruska Roma's Tarkovsky Theater. Their leader, the director, is furious. She says John brings death to her door. He demands a favor she owes by ancient rules. With no choice, she burns his Ruska Roma tattoo, exiling him. She grants safe passage to Casablanca. Little is known about John, born Jardani Jovanovic on September 12, 1964 in Belarus. Orphaned young, he was raised and trained as an assassin by Ruska Roma. Later, he built his brutal legend with Vigo's Tarasov syndicate. The adjudicator investigates Santino's death at the Continental. They demand Winston's resignation for aiding John's delay, a breach of loyalty. The Bowery King faces the same for arming John. Both are given 7 days to step down. John fights off 3 assassins in Casablanca. Sophia's subordinate, the manager of the Morocco Continental, stops him. Sophia shoots John on sight, knowing his presence spells doom. He forces her with a blood oath to take him to Barada, her old boss. He pleads with the elder for mercy. Sophia's furious. No one wants to be near John after Ruska Roma's slaughter by Zero's men. The director was punished for helping him. The Bowery King, refusing to resign, is executed with his men by Zero's 7 slashes. Barada is far from a likable figure. Despite wielding immense power, he's unnecessarily brash and loud. He dismisses John's plea to find the elder, fixating instead on the 2 dogs accompanying Sophia. He declares that John won't find the elder will find him. He instructs John to head to the desert's edge, follow the Canis Minor constellation, and keep going until he's on the verge of collapse, signaling he's close to his destination. John thanks him and prepares to leave, but Barada demands a trade. He claims he's helped John, so Sophia should prove her loyalty to the High Table by leaving one of her dogs behind. When Sophia refuses, Barada callously shoots at her beloved dog. Fortunately, the dog is unharmed, protected by a bulletproof vest, but the act infuriates Sophia. She retaliates by shooting Barada in the leg and takes out his entire security detail. John has no choice but to join the fray, assisting her. He goes through his routine of brewing coffee, eating breakfast, and brushing his teeth. He looks utterly broken, drained of any will to live. Today is his wife's funeral. In just a few hours, she'll be laid to rest beneath the cold earth. Even now, John can't process that Helen, his wife, is gone. It's as if they were happy together just yesterday. He stands frozen under pouring rain, staring at her coffin as it's lowered into the ground. His eyes burn with a mix of despair and rage no words could ever capture. Not far off, Marcus quietly watches John. Older than John, their conversation hints at a long history. It's strange because John seems surprised to see Marcus there. His eyes flash with suspicion until Marcus turns and leaves. Later, John receives a delivery, a small puppy named Daisy, with a letter from Helen. She apologizes for not growing old with him as promised. She urges him to find someone new to love, because life is still beautiful. He hands over his wedding ring as a token of trust before returning to New York, where he faces Zero and his disciples. Reaching Winston at the Continental takes time. Zero is a tougher opponent than anyone John has faced before. Ironically, Zero and his followers are ardent admirers of John, claiming they're alike gifted with a natural talent for killing. His meeting with Winston is far from straightforward. Winston asks how John wants to live the rest of his life as the feared Baba Yaga, or as a man loved by his wife. This question shatters John's deal with the Elder. Swiftly, the adjudicator revokes the Continental's protected status, turning it into a battleground, no longer recognized by the High Table. A team of assassins is dispatched to clean house. Initially with John on their side, the Continental's defenders seem poised to repel the attack. However, they underestimate the High Table's forces clad in near-impenetrable specialized armor. One by one, the hotel's guards fall under the onslaught. Karen barely escapes, and John realizes the odds are stacked against them when enemies shrug off dozens of headshots. The armor's weaknesses lie in the visor and the back of the neck, so John targets those areas. Still, ammunition runs low and too few enemies fall. Retreating to the armory where Winston sips whiskey, John and Karen decide they need heavier firepower. They arm themselves with Benelli M4 Super 90 shotguns loaded with 12-gauge armor-piercing steel slugs. With this overwhelming force, the High Table's soldiers drop. But this is only the beginning of the night's war. Zero and his disciples, eager to test John, lure him into a glass-walled room. With the hotel locked down and lights dimmed, it's the perfect ambush spot for Zero's ninja-like fighters. The first two attack from multiple angles, catching John off guard. The next pair, oddly polite, help him up after the initial assault, expressing excitement at facing the legendary John Wick. Armed with karambit knives, they give him a brutal fight. Though disappointed by John's slower reflexes, they still regard him as the world's top assassin. After catching his breath, John overpowers them, sparing their lives in return for their sportsmanship. Zero, the final obstacle, showers John with praise, noting how he's outnumbered, cornered, and exhausted, yet still eliminates his enemies. In the dim light, the two assassins clash, using every skill honed through years of grueling training to kill each other. As John predicted, they're not alike when the fight ends, only he stands. On the hotel's rooftop, the adjudicator warns Winston that last night's battle was just the start. Shockingly, Winston reaffirms his loyalty to the High Table. The adjudicator knows his defiance was a calculated move to prove he still controls the Continental under pressure. When asked about John, Winston shoots him multiple times in his bulletproof suit, sending him crashing into an alley below unconscious. This is a cunning ploy, Winston facing the loss of his hotel stage's loyalty to the High Table to retain his position. Shooting John in the suit, not the head, is a calculated risk banking on John's survival. It's a dangerous gamble, with high stakes relying heavily on luck. Yet John survives, rescued by a disciple of the Bowery King. Meeting in dire circumstances, both men having lost everything vow revenge against the High Table. Thanks for watching our video. We're Blockbuster Review. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for our latest uploads. We're grateful for your support as we aim for 1 million subscribers. Until next time, enjoy the movie.